Greetings, my young math Padawans. We're going to pick up from the last lesson. This is section 3.3, completing the square part 2. In the last section, we were working with perfect square trinomials. And as you can see in this problem, in order for this to be a perfect square trinomial, that plus 7 shouldn't be a 7. It should be, well, hold on, 10 divided by 2 is 5, 5 squared. It should be a 25, and it's not. So in this lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to work to fix polynomials that are not perfect square trinomials, and then try to make them that way. So we're going to create a perfect square trinomial. We're going to rewrite it as a quantity squared, and then we're going to solve it using square roots. Let me show you what I mean. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this plus 7, and I'm going to move it over to the other side. That's going to make it x squared minus 10x equals negative 7. And now we're going to do this just like we did those other problems, where I'm going to try to figure out what number goes in that box. What's in the box? Right? And we're going to do the same math that we did last class, where we take the number here, this 10, and divide it by 2, get our 5, and as we said, that 5 squared is what's going to go in the box. So again, that will make that a 25, or, we can think of it as 5 squared if that's helpful. So we'll rewrite this trinomial as x minus 5 to the second power equals, and let's do the math over here on the left side, negative 7 plus 25, which is 18. And now we just go through and do this problem like we were doing last class, where we're going to take that and we're going to take the square root of both sides. We're going to get x minus 5 on the left side equals, and we'll get plus or minus, don't forget your plus or minus, the square root of 18, which we know we can simplify down to be plus or minus 3 root 2. And again, if you need some more time to do that radical, take it, of course. And then we'll finally round this out by adding 5 to both sides of the equation, come up with the answer x equals 5 plus or minus 3 root 2. So this answer might not be pretty. It's not a whole number. As a matter of fact, if you type that in your calculator, you're going to get some crazy decimal. But the answer is what the answer is, and we can't fix that. Okay, let's take a look at another problem. So here we have x squared minus 18x plus 5. And we're going to attack this problem just like we did last time. We're going to take and we're going to get that 5 over to the other side. It's just in the way for us. So we'll have x squared minus 18x equals negative 5. And we'll go through and do the math just like we did last time, where we give ourselves plenty of room to figure out what goes in that box. And again, it'll be this 18 divided by 2, which is 9. So 9 squared will go in the box. That's 81. And that means on the left-hand side, that will factor down to be x minus 9, that quantity squared, equals whatever the heck negative 5 plus 81 is, which is going to be 76. We now go through and do the problem. Go ahead. We take that. We're going to take this quantity squared. We'll take the square root of both sides, keeping in mind that we have a plus or minus in front of that 76. Now I kind of got to think about how to simplify down the square root of 76. So I think about the biggest perfect square that goes into 76, and I'll look at my list, and yep, I'm not sure. Oh, it's going to be 4. So 4 times 19 gives me 76, which is 2 root 19 when I simplify everything down. So I'll get x minus 9 equals plus or minus 2 root 19. And I'll add my 9 to both sides, and I'll come up with my final answer of 9 plus or minus 2 square root of 19. Here's my 2 answers. Okay, let's try one more. Oh no, this 3 is definitely in the way, but no problem. Let's take a look. The first thing we can do is we can take everything and divide everything by a 3. That will give me x squared plus 4x minus 5 equals 0. Again, I'll check to see if that's a perfect square trinomial. It is not. So I'm going to take that 5, and I'm going to add it to both sides to make room for the box. So I can say what's in the box. And again, the number that's in the box is going to be that value b divided by 2, which is 2. So 2 squared is going to go in the box, which is 4. So on the left side, I'll have x plus 2, that quantity squared, equals 5 plus 4, which is 9. I'll take the square root of both sides. I'll get x plus 2 equals, don't forget the plus or minus, square root of 9. Hey, finally, something I can do, which is 3. So I need a little more room here. So that'll give me x plus 2 equals plus or minus 3. Now, think about that, because that means I could have positive 3 as an answer, or I could have negative 3 as an answer. So I kind of solve these problems separately by subtracting 2 from both sides, and I'll get x equals 1, and x equals negative 5 as my two answers to this problem. Let's try just one more before you do a couple on your own. Okay, this one looks the same as the last one, right? I see that value that's right there in front of the x squared, so right away I'm going to divide everything by 2. That'll give me x squared minus 10x minus 20 equals 0. I'll move that 20 over to the other side to make room for the box. And if, again, what do I look for? I look for that 10 divided by 2, which is 5. So 5 squared goes in the box, which is 25. So on the left side, I'll have x minus 5, that quantity squared, equals 20 plus 25, which is 45. I'll end up taking the square root of both sides to get to the next step, which will give me x minus 5 equals plus or minus the square root of 45. Okay, now I got to think again. Square root of 45. What goes into 45? 9 and 5. So I can break that down to be 9 times 5, which the square root of 9 is 3. I got 3 root 5. So when I come over here, I know that it's x minus 5 equals plus or minus 3 square roots of 5. And I'll add 5 to both sides, which will give me my final answer of 5 plus or minus 3 square roots of 5. My final answer. Okay, folks, we're to that point where you should pause the video. So take a minute right now, pause the video right now, and try these 6 problems. And then, of course, we will go over how to complete these 6 problems. Go ahead, pause the video, give it a try now. Okay, here we go. Let's try number 1. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we'll move that 8 over to the other side. So that'll give me equals 8, which will give me room to take this number. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So I'm going to add 2 squared to both sides, which will give me x minus 2 on the left equals, that's your 8 plus 4, which is 12. I'll end up taking the square root of both sides. I'll get x minus 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 12, which, if I simplify that down, will be 2 square roots of 3. Again, take your time if you need it to get to that answer. I'll add 2 to both sides, and I will get 2 plus or minus 2 square roots of 3. Moving on to number 2. The first thing I do will add 5 to both sides. Then I'll look here. I'll say, okay, 8 divided by 2, which is 4, so I'm going to add 4 squared to both sides. On the left, that'll make it x plus 4 squared. On the right, 5 plus 16 is 21. I'll take the square root of both sides. I'll get x plus 4 equals plus or minus the square root of 21. And if I think about it, 21 is 3 times 7, so there's no way to simplify that down. So really the only thing left to do is subtract 4 from both sides. So I get negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 21. Okay, let's keep rolling. Here's number 3. Again, we got that value in front of x squared, so we'll divide everything by negative 3. That'll give me x squared plus, let's see here, 18 divided, that's 6x, plus 2 equals 0. I'll move that 2 over to the other side. I'll figure out what I need to add to both sides. That's just 6 divided by 2 is 3, so 3 squared gets added to both sides, that's 9. On the left, that creates x plus 3, that quantity squared. On the right, I got 7. I'll take the square root of both sides. X plus 3 equals plus or minus the square root of 7. I know I can't simplify that down, so I'll subtract my 3 from both sides, and I get negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 7. It's not pretty, but it is the answer. Okay, number 4. So I already have that 36 on the other side, so I'm not going to do anything with that, but I am going to divide everything by 4 since that's in front of the x squared. That'll give me x squared plus 8x equals, let's hear, 9. Oops, 9. Okay, so we got a box. We'll figure out what I add to both sides. Again, 8 divided by 2. So I'm going to add 4 squared to both sides, which is 16. So on the left, that's x plus 4 squared equals 25. I'll take the square root of both sides. I'll get x plus 4 equals plus or minus the square root of 25, which is in fact 5. So my problem, x plus 4 equals positive 5. X plus 4 equals negative 5, which means my answers are going to be 1 and negative 9 for that problem. Number 5. Oh, different form here, right? This is a different form. So first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to fix the form, which means distributing that 6x into the parentheses. That'll give me 6x squared plus 12x equals 48. Now that looks better. So now I can just go through and do what I've been doing with the problems. Divide everything by 6. Let's see here, 48 divided by 6 is 8. I'll figure out what goes in the box. Let's see here, so we got to do 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So 1 squared goes in the box. On the left, that gives me x plus 1 squared equals 8 plus 1, which is 9. I'll take the square root of both sides. X plus 1 equals plus or minus the square root of 9 is 3. So again, x plus 1 equals positive 3. X plus 1 equals negative 3. And I end up with my final answer of 2 and negative 4. Number 6 is very similar. I'll distribute through the 2x. I'll divide everything by 2. I will now figure out what I put and add to both sides, which, if I did that same way as what I did, it's 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So I'm going to add 1 squared to both sides. That'll give me x minus 1 on the left. And let's hear 101 on the right, which I will turn around and take the square root of. So I'll get x minus 1 equals plus or minus the square root of 101. That can't be simplified, so I just add 1 to both sides. And I get x equals 1 plus or minus the square root of 101. All right, folks, thanks for hanging with me during this video. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Good luck with your homework.